In today's video, a truck rolls in on the edge of a disaster, loose suspension, a tire ready to explode, a check engine that could cost 10 grand, and one driver who didn't even bother with a pre-trip. We dive in, find the real problem, and show how a simple check can save you thousands. Stick around till the end. You don't want to miss what we uncover, and it just might save you a fortune on your own truck.
We're looking for a used part, a smashed headlight. We'll try to save the customer money because everything costs a fortune these days. I think we had those modules somewhere. There, I told you we had them. I found those Volvo modules. We'll give them, put them on the table. Here he comes. 1 Volvo, 2 Volvo. These modules die sometimes too. To avoid wasting the customer's money, we just pull the headlight off real quick, swap the modules around, and that's it. Let's go and see what's going on. Well, looks like the wheel already needs to be replaced. Let me shake it. Whoa, damn!
Too much.
They don't even realize how dangerous this is. When this wheel blows out, the repair cost, replacing the fender, will be $7,000 or $8,000, maybe even $9,000, because it's insanely expensive. One blown tire that costs $600 can lead to a $10,000 repair. So you've got to keep an eye on your tires, really keep an eye on them. If the tire blows, it'll smash the front left fender, only that will cost you around 10 grand. So the issue isn't with the kingpins at all. We already showed that to your driver.
Can I drive like this for 2-3 weeks?
You can drive, but the tires need to be replaced. You can't keep driving on a tire like that.
Yeah, of course. New Yokohama, please.
We'll put on new tires now, no problem, but it's gonna chew them up. So, plan to replace the wheels soon.
Yeah, I'm coming for sure, no question.
If you are working on the suspension, you must do everything thoroughly. Because if there's even a little play in one bushing or kingpin, you won't be able to do the alignment. Sure, other shops will be happy to take your money for that alignment, but it won't work because everything's loose. You get what I mean? So, I don't know if a full suspension inspection was ordered here. I'm just telling you what I personally saw. Since you told my manager to check everything, we'll give you a list of everything that needs to be replaced. As for the tires, they definitely need to be changed. That's a fact, because literally today or tomorrow that tire could blow. Did you receive the photos?
Yeah, I saw it.
But why didn't you ask your driver why he skips the morning pre-trip inspection?
Didn't cross my mind.
It's just important. I also have my own trucking company, and my drivers send me their pre-trip photos every morning. If a driver doesn't send them 3 times, and then something happens on the road, the repair comes out of his pocket. So the drivers are motivated to send photos so they won't be blamed later. There's not enough fluid here. Look, you'll top it off now? Yeah, I get it. You changed the filter, right? Got it.
Roughly, how much will the kingpin cost with the labor?
Let's have them check everything first, because this has to be done as a whole. If the front kingpin's in that kind of shape, then we also need to see what's going on in the back, since the rear bushings might already be worn out by now. We'll change the tires for now.
Give it like 3 weeks, and he'll be back to you guys.
Okay, we're changing 1 tire.
Yep, a brand new one.
All right, let's see what's going on next here. Someone already replaced his alternator. It's brand new. I wonder what the mileage is on this thing.
1,030,000.
Makes sense. With that mileage, it was probably due to break down anyway. Why are you still here?
Can I say how much they're charging me? How many papers are piled up on the desk?
Let's go.
I'm not a snitch. I can't do that.
But he still keeps bringing us money.
Of course. Where the good specialists are, that's where I am.
I've practically rebuilt the whole new truck. By the way, here's one example of how not to buy a truck. People think it'll be cheap to drive and restore it.
Never buy them. Never buy old trucks. No one sells a good truck. All the good ones are still working.
Yeah, they keep running and making money.
If a truck's for sale, that means it's not a good one.
So, what do we see on this Volvo that's got a check engine light on? We see a specific active fault that's already happened 3 times. That's why it's always the same story. The truck's internal clock doesn't match the real time, because we can see this Volvo still thinks it's in 2022. This is a standard issue with the brake switch. It has appeared 26 times already, and now the purge valve stuck closed error is active again. That is, the valve that controls the air and diesel fuel mixture for the 7th injector is currently malfunctioning. It's basically not working at all. It's really this module it's complaining about, and yeah, the time on the truck is wrong. We're gonna clear it now. We'll sync the time, then we'll run a special test on this system. But if it really is that module, you're in trouble. Because first of all, it's done when the engine's cold, since everything's too hot right now. First, we'll go ahead and do the time calibration. It's such a good thing when you've got genuine diagnostics and a live connection to the server, everything works super fast. If you use cracked versions, it's a nightmare. A lot of shop managers will understand me. Those things work slow, complicated, and give almost no useful info. Well, that's the way it is, but at least we've got the genuine Volvo-capable setup. It costs money, sure, but it's worth it. If you run a proper big shop, you've got to have this equipment. There's no other way. The goal is to solve 100% of the customer's problems when they come in. Sending them off to the dealer is just unprofessional. Here's the system data. We're syncing it now. In this case, the customer's actually right. His check engine just came on, and he came straight in for diagnostics. And yeah, the issue that's showing up now can lead to a derate, and he's got a load. There's a real chance he wouldn't make it to delivery and would end up on a tow truck headed to the dealer. Luckily, this is a Volvo from like 2019 or 2020, so theoretically, it can still be revived in an emergency to make it to any shop. That's probably the only real advantage Volvo has over the other trucks. But again, for the newer trucks, like the 2023 to 2024 models, that trick doesn't work anymore. Up until 2022, it still does. The ABS fuse under the hood is pulled, and the special rotation sensor on the transmission is taken off. Doing timely maintenance on your truck can save you a ton of money. Now we're going to run the SCR test. It's longer and puts more load on the system, and at the same time, it's a kind of preventive cleaning for the SCR system. If there's any unreacted DEF inside that's crystallized, we'll save even more time and money down the road. Preventive maintenance is always a must, anywhere, anytime. What you see on the dashboard, that green minimum bar, isn't a 0-100 scale. It's more like the 80-100 range. That top 20%, depending on how clogged the unit is what pushes you into the yellow and then the red zone. The truck's own system will drive a regen down to something like 60-70%, but it never actually reaches zero. Because of that, the recommendation is to remove DPFs and do a physical burn every to 300,000 miles. Honestly though, I think that physical procedure isn't necessary if you run diagnostics regularly, because you can monitor it. You can use the truck's own regen to burn the DPF until it's basically clean, but you'll need to do it repeatedly while watching the gauge. Right now we see 84%, so 84% is already practically maximally clogged.
The regen went through, it's almost at zero. But after just a couple of hours, boom, it goes back up again.
That's what I'm saying. It's not really at zero. It dropped to around 60-70%, and then you see it climbing again. The green bar fills back up to about 80%, which is already close to the yellow zone. And again, what causes the DPF to clog up? The first and most common issue on Volvos is the EGR valve. It starts leaking coolant. Check out our new video. We've got a playlist right here on the left about how we live here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the bell, the jingle bells. Vasya, why's your forehead so dirty? Did someone hit you? Look, you've got a black eye. Under your eye? Did they just give cylinder head back today? Or was it yesterday? Ah, this morning? Yeah. So who is this guy anyway? I didn't get it. He's saying nothing was replaced. I talked to the owner, he goes, "Are you messing with me right now?" He's claiming we put in a used head, or didn't change it at all, asking where the old one is. Honestly, I'm really pissed off these smartasses show up and start saying we didn't do the work. But thankfully, we're a public shop, and we film everything. So, just for that joker, once again, gentlemen, if you're trying to accuse us of something, it's not gonna work. We do everything honestly, period. We've even got the video to prove it.
Алло.
Thanks to our extensive experience, we always take plenty of photos and videos so that there are never any questions about our work. Sometimes new customers who aren't subscribed to us or come here for the first time don't know our approach. And to save my nerves, we always prepare in advance, because we know people will ask, and since we have nothing to hide, everything's documented. In this case, we're also running diagnostics, genuine diagnostics. Especially on Freightliners, you can review everything. All the fault codes, the full history, like hitting play, and watching the whole story from start to finish. The system even logs everything automatically. You can record it on video too, what happened and what procedures were done. So friends, maybe we're not the cheapest shop, but that's only because we do it right the first time. And of course, there are times when something doesn't work out for us, and we admit it. I never charge money if we didn't fix the problem. I only take the bare minimum. At the dealer, it's different. If they start working on something and can't figure it out, say they spent 10 hours, they'll tell you, we didn't find anything, but you still have to pay for 10 hours. Should we keep looking? From experience, out of almost 4,000 truck repair orders, maybe 2 or 3 we had to send to the dealer. Everything else we managed to repair ourselves. Now, the new generation of trucks is starting to break in completely different ways, and there are still some issues we've never seen before. Naturally, that means sometimes we need a bit more time to figure things out. That's what separates a shop that's been around and knows its stuff from one that just opened. The experienced one has already dealt with these problems many times. And because they once spent time learning how to fix it, the next time the diagnosis goes much faster. So, if this is your first time here, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and drop a comment. That's what keeps us motivated to keep making these videos.
Yeah, honestly, I've been watching your videos. People who understand how the system works, they can tell right away. Just from a conversation, you can see who knows their stuff and who doesn't. I've been following you for a year now. That's why I came to you with a serious request to solve this problem. My friends watch you too. All of them do.
What matters most is they roll in with problems and roll out on their own wheels.
Yeah.
Let's try to prove today that we can actually fix this. We've just started running the tests, so now we'll see how the inlet and outlet knock sensors are working, and after that, we'll decide what to do with you. It's not fully warmed up yet, but the DEF pump's running strong. I think it's just the SCR closed loop that's clogged. There's a good chance you might leave today without any major repairs, because right here, we should be seeing a 1 at the outlet. This is the inlet, and that's the outlet knock sensor. The only thing I'll say is, yeah, it's from around 2016, and I don't really like the inlet readings. They're too low. When a truck's that old, there are some limitations on the tests. For example, on your truck, we can't run the knock sensor verification procedure, which checks how closely the inlet and outlet knock sensors match each other. Compression's at 82%, so you need to do an adjustment. You're at 82. When was the last time you did a valve adjustment? Anything below 84% already means it's starting to degrade, starting to drop off. You've got to take care of it, because if you let it go, the degradation will get serious. We just hope it hasn't started yet. Another issue, wherever you're getting your repairs done, you've got to be sure they actually did the work. A lot of shops love to take the money and not do it. Happened to me at a dealer. They love to take your cash, do just the intake and exhaust, and never touch the engine brake. There are 3 separate adjustments in total, but if it needs to be done, that's only done on a cold engine. So even if we handle everything else today, that adjustment can only be done either late tonight or tomorrow morning. Those of you who are into Volvo diagnostics probably know what this is. The Vocom. The original one costs a ton of money. I've had it lying around for ages because for some reason, my laptops just wouldn't connect to it over Wi-Fi through our network. But actually, we've got another laptop that was built specifically for work, and it finally connected. Today, I asked tech support to transfer my original TechTool license over, and now we'll see if it works. Really curious, because when you've got a Vocom, you just plug it in and forget about it. You can sit in the office when it's scorching hot outside and nice and cool inside, and comfortably run diagnostics. By the way, for all the shop managers watching, if you've worked with the original TechTool, tell me, do you ever have trouble connecting to the server? Sometimes it glitches so badly, it takes an hour or 2 just to connect to a truck. If you've had the same issue, drop a comment. Does it happen to you too? Or is it just me? Honestly, I've been thinking we should probably charge more for Volvo diagnostics because it takes way longer than on a Freightliner or Picard. This thing's a nightmare to work with, and anyone using a cracked TechTool knows exactly what I mean. I've got a few of those too, so I know for sure. Alright, yes, we've got some fault codes here. We can see how many. The customer came in complaining about a loss of power, and here we can see my favorite kind of fault codes, the usual ones. We need to check if the time matches, and that's good. It does. It's clear that nothing's been cleared here for a long time, and there are a lot of fault codes stored in the system. Engine coolant level triggered 63 times. 450,000 miles. Basically, there shouldn't be any major issues here. Manifold absolute pressure. Oh, by the way, yeah, the customer mentioned he's got a power loss, and he replaced those famous blue hoses, our favorites. Now we're going to clear the fault codes. In any case, we need to run a boost test that requires a special tool to hook up. Maybe there's a small leak in the intercooler, and that's exactly why we're losing power. We get guys coming in with this kind of issue all the time. Actually, we'll need to take this truck for a test drive. Once we do, everything will become clear. Now we're starting the regeneration. This is what an SCR regen looks like on a Volvo. Right now, the DPF is 33% clogged. Since we cleared all the codes, after the reset, new ones may appear under load, not random, but current real-time faults. We'll finish up this test first and then move on to the rest of the work.
Давай хук.
Сейчас, хук. Диагностика — это не про трак. А ты не снимаешь или снимаешь, да?
В смысле, я снимаю?
Диагностика — это не про трак, это про то, с чем ты завтра останешься с машиной или с долгами.
Давай только побольше эмоций.
Диагностика — это не про трак. Диагностика — это не про трак. Да блин, тут так, тут целый абзац целый, блядь. Это про то, с чем ты завтра останешься, с долгами или с... Я в школе учился-то плохо.
Ты же понимаешь, да, возьмет и вставит это. Я в школе учился плохо.
Я не отрицаю, что я в школе учился плохо. У меня 6 школ было. Мои родители постарались, меня со школы в школу таскали. И это, конечно, повлияло в целом на мое образование. Но кто с чем в детстве играл? Я вот играл с машинками. Вот доигрался. Лучше бы монополию подарили. Ужас. Работает как-то он через задницу. Так, тут уже что-то пиво лежит, блин, холодненькое. Чье это там уже лежит пиво холодненькое?
Я, если что, снимаю.
Хорошо, надо руки убирать что-то по губам, да?
Угу.